Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be giving you an update on my mini product project pan that I started last month. If you've recently subscribed or you missed that video, I will throw it up here in the cards for you if you want to check it out. But basically I decided to start a project pan back in May to try to use up a bunch of mini makeup and skincare products. Now I will freely admit that I'm not the best project panner. I've tried doing a few projects in the past with varying degrees of success. Honestly, I'm someone that prefers to rotate through my stash as opposed to committing to just using a couple products for however many months it takes to try to finish them up. I crave variety, I get bored easily with my makeup, so it's just never been a thing that I've found to be particularly easy for me to do. But I do feel like it is important to actually try to use up the makeup that you have, the skincare that you have, to not be wasteful and have things needing to be thrown out half used because they expired. So I always have enjoyed the idea of a project pan, and I thought that panning minis might be a little bit more reasonable / achievable for me. So today I'm going to be sharing some thoughts about how things have been going so far, what I'm thinking of the products, what I've actually finished, and what I want to continue to keep working on because I was not able to pan everything that I talked about in my previous video. I didn't really expect to, but yeah, I definitely am going to need some more time to work on some of this stuff. So with all that being said, let's jump into the update, and I will start out with what I actually finished first. So first up, I've got a couple of skincare minis. These are from the brand Youth to the People, and these are actually the first Youth to the People skincare products I ever tried, and I really liked them. I had their age prevention cleanser and age prevention moisture cream, and I thought that these worked really nicely together, especially as kind of like a morning skincare routine. The cleanser I feel like is really gentle but effective. It makes your skin feel clean, but it doesn't leave it feeling stripped. It has a very herbaceous, almost grassy kind of scent to it, so if you're not into that, you may not like this. But as far as a cleanser goes, I enjoyed it. I felt like this tiny little bottle actually lasted me a long time because you don't need a ton to really get your entire face clean. And the moisturizer feels really nourishing but light. It's not super heavy, so I was actually able to wear this during the day under makeup, even though my skin is very oily, and I didn't notice it making me extra greasy throughout the day. Honestly, the only issue I really have with these guys is the full-size price. I think these products are great, but they are a little bit pricey if I was to go out and actually buy them. So I don't know how likely I would be to invest that kind of cash. Especially for a cleanser, spending over $30 on a face wash is kind of a lot when I have other cleansers I really like that are under 15. So would I use these again? Yes, if somebody gave them to me or put them in front of me, I like them, I had no issues with them. I just don't know that I'm 100% convinced that they are worth the splurge. Then I also finished up my mini of the Wander Beauty Dive In Moisturizer. I really love this, and I actually have the full size sitting in my cabinet right now. I'm actually trying to use up another moisturizer before I crack into the full size of this one. But yeah, this is something I knew I really loved and enjoyed a lot, so this was pretty easy to finish up. Now, the only makeup product I actually finished was this guy right here. This is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer Smoothing Primer, and I had this sitting around for a while, so I was glad to finally use it up. But it is a really nice pore filling primer. It is similar to Benefit Professional in that it has that kind of balmy, silicone-y texture to it. It's very thick, so it really will fill in your pores nicely. If I had absolutely zero silicone-y type primers on hand in my collection, yeah, I would definitely consider picking this up in the full size. I think it's a really nice primer. I just know, again, I have a lot of other stuff to use, so I don't need to run out and buy this, but I thought it was pretty decent. And then finally, the last mini that I actually finished was a hair product. This is the Living Proof Full Dry Volume Blast Styling and Finishing Spray. I had kept this guy in my purse and it finally bit the bullet. But this stuff is awesome. I've gone through cans this size before. I actually have the full size already in my bathroom. I was able to get it through FabFitFun through one of those add-ons for a ridiculously cheap price. It was pretty awesome. But if you have very flat, limp hair, I mean mine today, I just air dried it, so this is basically what it does when I do nothing to it. It doesn't really have a whole lot of body or movement. So if I spray a little bit of this guy in my hair and kind of fluff it up, it will have a lot more texture, a lot more volume. It just gives it a little bit of grit. Like, my hair is very slippery in texture. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to complain about having like a silky texture of hair, but the downside to that is that it doesn't hold a curl easily, it doesn't hold volume or body for a very long time. It just kind of goes basically, you know, an hour after I style it. So something like this is really handy to keep in my purse, just to kind of like give my hair some life throughout the day. So yeah, this is one of those things I know, I love, I'm going to continue to keep using, and I like already have backups of. So I have 2 loose setting powders here that I've been trying to pan, and I discovered something very interesting as I was looking at the packaging of these guys. So obviously this little jar here, I mean, it's pretty teeny tiny, and like even in comparison to this guy, it's super small. But inside of this tiny little jar, they managed to stuff 3.5 grams of product, and this guy here has 4.5 grams. So like, really not that much more. And what's even more wild, this new Milani powder that I picked up has 3.5 grams of product. 3.5 grams, 3.5 grams. Now, I know, grams are a measurement of weight, not volume, so technically the Laura Mercier Flawless setting powder could be denser, it could be like a thicker, heavier powder than this guy, which means that it would weigh more and take up less space. But honestly, I feel like, I mean, look at this size differential. If 3.5 grams of product take up this much space, and you try to cram even a slightly denser powder into this little jar, like, there's a lot in here. And I think that's also why I've had such a difficult time getting product out of the jar. I just think that it was so densely packed in there that like it took a while to loosen things up. It's been getting easier and easier to use the more I use the product, I think, because now there's actually some like air in the jar. So yeah, I feel like originally when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I will use that up so quickly because it looks so teeny tiny. But actually there's like a lot of product in here, so I'm really not sure how long it's going to take. I will say though, as far as a setting powder goes, I do think that it's nice. Like, I know this is such a cult classic product that so many people love, and I think that it does a nice job, especially of setting the under eyes without it looking too dry. So I've been enjoying using it, so at least there's that. And then as for the Cover FX matte setting powder here, I would say I've got about 1/3 of the jar still left in here, so a couple of grams of product-ish probably. I've been using this more to just like set in my T-zone where I'm super oily, or to touch up throughout the day. So this one, again, may take me a little while, maybe another month or 2, but I'm enjoying it and I'm slowly getting there. Now, another one where I feel like the packaging is super tricksy and actually there's much more product here to use up than I originally thought is with this little mini Marc Jacobs Highliner. So I have one of the, well, actually I have 2 or 3 of the full-size eyeliners, but this is what they look like. So by comparison, as you can see, the mini version is like significantly smaller than the full size. You're maybe looking at like about half the size of the original in the packaging. But if you actually look at how many grams are in here, the full size has 0.5 grams, and then the mini has 0.37 grams. So this is actually more like 3/4, 2/3 of the size of the full size than it is to half. And it takes me a long time to use up a full size eyeliner. Like, I've had this guy for way longer than I probably should, and it's still going strong. So I feel like even with regular use, this is probably going to last like several months. It was brand new when I started the project. I like hadn't even used it yet. So this is going to be an interesting one. I don't know how quickly or easily I'm going to be able to pan this, but I'm going to make it like the primary black eyeliner I reach for from now on to try to get through it. Then I've got a couple of cream shadow sticks. This one's from Bobbi Brown. This one is from Laura Mercier. And honestly, I had not used these for ages prior to starting this project, so I was glad I was like encouraging myself to bust them out again. So both of these are in very similar colors. They're both kind of like a rose goldy champagne tone, and having played with them both now several times over the last month, I think I prefer the Bobbi Brown over the Laura Mercier. So this is the Bobbi Brown, this is the Laura Mercier, and the Bobbi Brown is a little bit more glittery. It has a little bit more of a shimmery look on the lid, which I think is really pretty. The Laura Mercier is just kind of more of a satin metallic, which is also pretty, but I just feel like a little bit less unique. So as you guys can see, I still have a fair amount of both of these left to use up, but I have less of the Bobbi Brown, which is this one, than I do of the Laura Mercier. So I may just focus on trying to finish up the Bobbi Brown because I like it more. I kind of feel like if I force myself to use the Laura Mercier and I don't really enjoy it as much, like it just makes doing your makeup a little less fun. I almost forgot about this guy. This is another primer. This is the Yensa Tone Up Essential Glow Primer. This one is like almost empty. I maybe have like 2 uses left in here, but it's technically not done, so I'm not gonna cheat and say that it is. I think I just found myself wanting to reach for the Makeup Forever over this guy during the last month because it started to get so warm here. I'm getting more shiny more quickly throughout the day, and this primer is a more hydrating, glowy primer. I like this a lot better in the winter when my skin was more like combination to normal, so it just added that nice moisturized feeling to the skin. It may be a little bit too much now when I kind of need more oil control, so I haven't been wanting to reach for it, but like really I just need to do it because I have like 2 uses left in here. Oh, and also on the topic of primers, there's this guy. This is the Urban Decay Quick Fix Hydracharged Complexion Prep Priming Spray. I have actually really enjoyed using this. This product smells like coconuts, and it's essentially just a facial mist that you apply before you put your makeup on, and it just kind of hydrates your skin and helps prep it for primer and foundation. Does it do anything super special? I don't really know. It could just be fancy water. I feel like I haven't had a bad makeup day on the times where I've used this, so maybe that's a sign. But I feel like I could probably achieve a similar effect with like any of my facial mists. It doesn't necessarily have to be this one. So yeah. In general, I'm glad that this got me back on the train of using a priming or face mist prior to putting on my foundation and primers, because it does like get the skin sort of a little more moist. It helps everything to kind of glide a little bit more easily on your skin. You have less dryness or texture that becomes apparent. But seeing as I already have so many other face mists on hand, like I don't think I need to actually go out and buy this one once I use up the mini. Then I have these 2 powder products, a Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush and a mini of the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector pressed in Opal. I feel like I have not even made a dent in these, and I have used them, I don't know, like 10 times in the last month, which isn't really a lot, but it's like, even if I was to wear makeup every day, which I don't, I'm also using other things, so it just, again, takes a really long time to finish face products, so I have no idea when I'll be able to use these up. They could take me the rest of the year for all I know. These guys are in my everyday makeup drawer again for June, so gonna keep trying. I also threw this little guy in my everyday makeup drawer, the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade Moonlight. I'm gonna be real with you guys, I have not touched this since I started my project pan. I've been meaning to. I just never find myself wanting to reach for cream and liquid highlights. I'm a powder girl through and through, so I'm gonna have to make some better efforts in the next month to do that. But again, yeah, it is at least in the vanity drawer now, so I have no excuses. Next, I have the Tatcha Silk Canvas Mini here. There's still a fair amount of product left in this little jar, so I have some more work to do on this guy. I really only use such a small amount and pretty much just on the areas of my face where I have pores when I'm reaching for this. So again, this is something that's probably gonna take me a while to use up, but I also really like it. So I don't like want to get rid of it. Like I enjoy having it on hand, and the full size is stupid expensive. So there's like a little part of me that's like, I want to take my time panning this because it's really good and I don't want to need to go and buy it. The Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, I really have no idea how much product I have left in here. It's so hard to tell because the packaging is completely opaque. So it seems thus far like I can still get product out of the tube, so I'm just going to keep on using it, but it could run out in a week, it could run out in 2 months. I don't really know. And then last but not least is this little lipstick. This is the only lip product that I tried to work on in the last month because I find lip products to be incredibly difficult to pan. So this guy I feel like looks very similar to where you last saw it a month ago. I have used it, I think, 3 or 4 times, but 3 or 4 times is not a whole lot. So I'm gonna have to keep trying to use this guy a little bit more. But again, if you saw my recent makeup inventory / no buy announcement video, like I have so many lip products and I've been trying to rotate through them. So I only have 1 pair of lips. I usually only wear 1 lip color a day and then reapply as needed. So like, I just feel a little weird trying to only use this. Like if this is the only lip product I wore for a month, then that's a month I'm neglecting the other 100-something lip products that I have. So I don't really know what the solution to that is. Let me know what you think. Like, is it better to just focus on one thing and try to use the whole thing up, or to rotate through your options? What do you guys prefer? And then finally, I have 2 skincare products that I have been working on, but I haven't finished yet. And that is this little Kiehl's duo, the Calendula Deep Cleansing Foaming Face Wash and the Calendula Herbal Extract Toner. I'm about halfway through the toner currently. I'm not really sure how much of the cleanser I have. It's kind of hard to see through this bottle what's left in here. This came with a full fluid ounce of product, which is actually a lot. Just for comparison, this is my Derma E cleanser and this has 6 fluid ounces. So this guy is 1/6 of a full-sized like Derma E bottle. So I feel like, considering that I was still also using the Kale cleanser for part of the month, I've only been using this for maybe about 2 weeks, and I feel like it definitely takes me more than 2 weeks to go through a 1/6 of a bottle of cleanser. So I have a fair amount of use left in this guy, I believe. And as far as what I think of how they perform, I'm a little on the fence. I feel like they might be drying my skin out a little bit. I've only been using them in the morning, and the toner is alcohol-free, which I appreciate. I just think that the cleanser might be a little bit drying on my skin. Like, I feel like when I dry my face off after having used this, my skin is not like all tight and dry, but it's just been looking a little bit more flaky lately, and the only thing I've really changed is switching to these in the morning from using the Youth to the People. So we'll see by the time I finish these up if I change my mind at all, but like, as per right now, I'm not super in love with them. All right, guys, so that is everything I have to share in my update today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts on these products and hearing where I'm at in my project pan. If you guys are also in the middle of a project, definitely let us know in the comments down below. What are you trying to finish up? How is it going? Have you had some success in the last month? And if you also have a whole bunch of minis sitting around in your house collecting dust, I encourage you to join me on this project pan adventure and pick a few things to try to finish up in the next month. I'm sure I will check back in with you guys at the end of June and let you know if I made any more progress. I also will probably be doing another round of empties in July. I do them quarterly, so hopefully I'll have a whole bunch of new stuff in that basket to share with you guys then. So yeah, I think that's all for me today, but I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video.